Hey, Flint and Steel! What's up? It's a Culture Detective here investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm finally going to be doing an album review on a new Huremic album, Seeking Darkness. So yeah, this album came out a while ago, I think a month ago, and I've been meaning to review it, but again, every single day I'm busy, and in fact I haven't had more than 7 hours of sleep since 2 weeks ago. And today I finally got it, so I feel kind of blessed, and I don't know when is the next time I get to sleep for 7 hours or more. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about this new album from Huremic, who, seems like a pretty new artist, right? Wrong. Huremic is actually the alias of Korean shoegaze, dream gaze artist Paranol. And this is basically one of his multiple, I believe there are more than this, aliases. So Paranol has been making music since a few years ago, and he's been breaking through the internet, reaching to worldwide audiences, including me, inspiring me, moving me. His last album, which only came out, I believe, last year, Sky 100, was one of my favorite albums of last year, but also literally one of my favorite albums of the decade so far. Sky 100 to me is not just a pretty, beautiful, nostalgic rock album, but also much more than that. It's about nostalgia, it's about memory, it's about love, longing, and it is so beautiful. It is one of the few albums that came out in the last few years that actually made me cry. So as you can probably tell, I am a pretty big fan of Paranol. Now, the interesting new direction is that Paranol is making music under Huremic now, and he's making post-rock and noise rock, which is different from the lo-fi, dreamy shoegaze that he usually dabbles into. Another thing I want to say is, damn, this guy is prolific. He keeps making music. He doesn't stop making music. That's crazy. So anyways, this album has 5 tracks. They're named parts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, respectively, and each track ranges from about 10 to 15 minutes long. So, looking at this album, we're talking about big, bold, heavy hitters with a lot of build-up, a lot of slowdowns, breakdowns, and just multifaceted epics in general. So, right off the bat with parts 1 and 2, this is already pretty much blatant Swans worship. And there's nothing wrong with it. Out of all the many noise rock bands you could be copying, if you copy Swans, I can respect that because I love Swans music. So obviously in part 1 we have the slow gradual building of the drums and guitars, which is very Swans-esque, but even so you still get the lo-fi quality that Paranol is pretty much known for. The entire track is tense yet simultaneously relaxing, and then towards the last act of the track he introduces some crazy noise and blood-curdling screams, which ends off the track really nicely. It is a gorgeous way to open off the album, also very ambitious, also very big and bold, and I'm really enjoying it. Now we enter part 2, which is pretty much Swan's oxygen. Like the instrumentals, the tone, even the rhythm of the track is very much Swan's oxygen. Even with the rough sporadic drums, the constant shots of guitars, and at this point I feel like Paranol was going to turn into Michael Girard at any given moment. The repeated mantras and chants, they feel very spacey and glacier, and then the folky drum sort of hit. The whole thing is really aggressive, and I love its aggression, but when I listen to this track, I can't help but think I might as well be listening to Swans To Be Kind. Now we have part 3, which is a pretty multifaceted song that starts off with some really lovely guitar ballads with some tabla in the back. I really love it. I can't stress this enough. I really love it when artists incorporate traditional musical elements from other cultures, especially Hindi culture and Arabic culture. Whenever these two cultures or these multiple cultures collide, it always creates some interesting result. Now, anyways, part 3 sees him going back to his dream gazy wheelhouse with sweet nostalgic chords, but then the track transitions into thick layers of white noise, wind chimes, and the track ends off with reverby intergalactic guitars and sleigh bells, and suddenly it sounds like a Sigur Rós song for some reason. I can't believe how crisp the production is at this moment in the track, and it's so clean that it almost ruined the entire lo-fi vibe that this album was almost going for. Now, moving on, we have part 4 and 5, which I think are two of my favorite tracks on the album, especially part 4. I think mainly it's because these two tracks rock the hardest. In part 4, we have noisy slamming drums, wailing guitars, something that you would find in an earlier Godspeed You Black Emperor album. We have some hums. It's really fiery and really moving, and every few minutes the rhythm changes as well. There's a kind of restlessness in this track that really puts you on the edge of your seat. Now we enter part 5, which is the big bold finale of the album with ultra distorted guitars, chugging riffs. Instrumentally, it is the most dense here, and sometimes I would prefer something that is a little bit more, ebb and flow. But I do think that part 5 is crucial to the emotional build-up and payoff of the album. So yeah, overall, this is a really solid album. Paranol, or Huremic in this case, does not disappoint. He keeps making good music. What is the secret, man? What is your secret? This is so good. So yeah, I'm not complaining. This is pretty good. I'm giving Huremic Seeking Darkness a decent 8 out of 10. So have you listened to the new Huremic album? Comments below, let me know. Subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. So much more to review. Death Heaven. Okay, I got Death Heaven, Weather Day, Skrillex, Spelling, and Imperial Triumphant. Ooh.